And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Rival Restaurants. This is a game in which you're going to run a restaurant, and you are, well, your rival is other restaurants. This is a game in which you are essentially going to be going out to the markets, buying the ingredients you need, and building recipes. Very simplistic style that a lot of games do. Get these ingredients, make recipes. But this game does it in a big, grandiose way. And in fact, the game here says it can go up to 8 players and is only 45 to 60 minutes long. Why? Because everyone has crazy, real-time negotiations they can make. Let me show you. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to get a restaurant, maybe the Crouching Dumpling here, or the Soul of Soul, or Uncle Sam's American Barbecue, or For Reals. Each one of these dishes has a bonus, or each one of these restaurants, like this one makes French dishes, this one makes Italian dishes, gives you an extra thumbs up on those. And players are going to start with 0 popularity, and they're going to be trying to go down to 20 popularity to win the game. Players are also going to get a chef, and so each of these chefs is going to give you a special ability. So I might want to take General Stroganoff, or Senor Fuego, Angus Khan, or Love Handles McPatterson. Once you decide who you're going to take, you'll take the appropriate standee of that character. You're also going to get a little wheel here that represents the different areas here on the board. Vegetable Land, Fruit Stand, fruits in quotations because, yeah, Carbtastic, Chop Shop, Dairy King, and the Mystery Mart. Players will also start with a random ingredient from each type, as well as a couple recipes, a basic recipe and a gourmet recipe. Here I got shrimp pork dumplings, which requires flour, pork, and shellfish. If I complete this, it's going to give me 2 thumbs up and 1 garbage. Steak and lobster, which needs potato, butter, beef, shellfish, carrot, and garlic, will give me 6 thumbs up and 5 garbage. So over the course of this game, players can be taking different turns, and those turns are called days. At the beginning of a day, each player is going to get $300 that they're able to spend. They then are going to simultaneously decide where they're going to go on this wheel. And once they pick it, they'll all reveal it. And then you have 1 minute. So when you reveal where you're going, let's say I decide I'm going to go to the fruit stand. I put my figure on a specific ingredient I want. If 2 people go on the same one, there's kind of an auction back and forth to see who gets it. But more than likely, people will go to different ingredients. Now, if you go to one of these stands, you can pay money and take the face-up cards or face-down cards. And you get some of whatever that is. So I go here, I want the peppers and the sweet fruit in the top card. It's going to cost me my $300. You can get all kinds of weird stuff over there in the Mystery Mart, where there's tofu, alien goo, and chocolate available. And then different ingredients in different spots. You can also go to the island. At the island, you can pay for an upgrade. So as players pay for an upgrade, let's say, for example, I pay for social media advertising. It's $400. I put the clip here, and from now on at the beginning of every turn, instead of getting $300, I'm going to get an extra $100, so I'll get $400 every turn. Celebrity endorsements, the same thing, but it costs more. Basic recipe book, if I build this one, whenever I get new basic recipes, instead of drawing the top one, I'll draw 4 and pick one. Same thing with the gourmet recipe book. And double cooktop, normally you can only finish 1 recipe a turn. Double cooktop allows you to finish 2. Players can also, during this time, negotiate with one another. You can trade all sorts of things. You can trade money. You can trade recipes. You can trade ingredients. You can trade garbage. You can trade all sorts of things. But when the timer runs out, players need to finish up their trades, and then they can see if they can fulfill a recipe. So if I can fulfill the recipe here, flour, rice, beef, avocado, and beans, you will then get this many thumbs minus 1 for each garbage you have. So if I start with 2, if I had 2 garbage and I did this, I would only get 3. You also get a bonus if you are a Mexican restaurant, and there are other things in the mystery market deck that can help you out. Secret sauce makes a basic recipe +1, and wine makes a gourmet recipe +1. Now you say, wait a minute, garbage seems like a bad deal. You're right. So when you go to the island, you can pay $100 and get rid of a garbage for each $100 that you spend. Also, when you're at the island, besides buying upgrades, you can buy action cards. Action cards are cards you can play one action card per turn that you can do anything like pick a new chef. All chefs show you their action cards. Market price or doubled for other chefs. Steal half of someone else's money. Anyone who has alien goo, which is right there, which is basically a wild resource, has to draw 2 garbage, etc. So these action cards can be bought here and used in that regard. And that's essentially it. The only thing I should mention is as your popularity grows, and you'll be sliding a little thing here just to show how much popularity you have. As you hit some mile markers here, you'll get bonuses. So once I hit rising dough, I can discard 2 garbage or take 300. Once I get the hot sauce, take 1 less garbage for each recipe I cook. Here now I can discard garbage for 200 each without being at the island. Now that's this restaurant. Each restaurant's slightly different. This one here, the Italian one, lets you draw more action cards. This one gives you free ingredients off the shelf. And so they're all fairly different. This game is chock full of components. The biggest thing here is this tray that just comes right out of the box and goes in the middle. Has a lid for it, so you can keep it in the box. I actually don't like the tray very much because if you're on that side of the table, you can't see the costs for these. Now, granted, they are written on your sheet here, so you can go by that. I just felt like it blocked a view of the board. So I would prefer, honestly, if this was just taken out and put over here, even though it's clearly meant to go here. The garbage, these are little plastic tokens. I like these a lot, although some of the plastic tokens in this game stick together. But having your little garbage bin here I thought was neat. And the coins are also cool quality coins. The cards, the recipes, great pictures of food on them. Very clear as to what they do. Then the background colors show which restaurant they go with. I was a big fan of both the art and the quality of the cards. In fact, the quality of all the cards is very well done. There's these cards here that tell you all the information of things that you can do. The artwork is very obviously silly. You have all these characters, and the stand-up characters fall over a lot, but I do like the artwork on them. And the clips being used for special abilities, that was a nice touch. So overall, I'm going to say good for the components. So despite the good qualities of the components, there are still a few problems that I have with the game. My biggest problem with the game is the action cards. Now, I feel like this is a pretty simple thing. Just take them out. The action cards are incredibly powerful, and you could really just mess up one other person. Many of the action cards are just negative things against either one person or a lot of people. Stealing half of someone's money, especially if they're saving up, is not so good. But some of the cards that help you, I'm okay with. Like if you have 2 pairs of ingredients, then you win the jackpot. Take $800 from the bank and keep the ingredients. Monopoly, and everyone has to give you all the ingredient they own of one ingredient. You pick it, everyone gives them all to you. I feel like they may have got that from Catan. So there's a lot of things in here. Here's steal an action card from someone else. There's a cancel an action card. But considering how expensive these are and how powerful they are, I felt like I don't know, whenever I play, I just don't get them very often because I feel mean playing them. The game already has a lot of other stuff going on. The action cards felt like that one step too far, in my opinion. Now, getting the ingredients for the things, going to different shops, that's a good thing. Although both people putting their chefs on the same person and having an auction quickly for that ingredient, again, I felt like that was a completely unnecessary thing. I wish they had just the first person to go there gets it. It just feels like it was too much and added a little bit too much to the game. The game already has all these things going on. Now, one thing I do like is the negotiation. I love the fact that you can trade anything for anything. I can give you a recipe. I'm giving you 2 ingredients. You're giving me 2 ingredients. You're definitely getting the better end of the deal. I said take one of my bags of garbage while you're at it. I don't want your bag of garbage. Well, then you're not getting this. So I love that. It's the focus of the game, and it works really well. And I found that scores are fairly close in this game as players are usually finishing things up around the same time. And you can get almost anything you want, even though you can go into one store, go to that store, buy a lot of that, whatever is there, and trade it with the other players. So if you don't like negotiation, you will have probably a tough time because it's pretty critical to this game. A few things seemed obvious, like the social media, getting your income to 400 is pretty good. And to that end, I think chocolate. If you draw chocolate on your first turn, you can instantly go to the island and sell the chocolate for 500, which allows you to buy the upgrade for 400, which then gives you 100 the rest of the game, and it's a really good deal. And in fact, getting your money income up every turn is a really good way to start this game. I don't think Rival Restaurants is a terribly strategic game. It's more of a fun, just get into the spirit of it. And if you play that way, and I do play that way, I found it to be very enjoyable. Yes, it has flaws. Yes, it's not the smoothest of experiences in all ways, but it is silly fun. And we had a lot of fun doing it. I have not played with more than 5 players. That seems insane. This game seems really well for 4. I think the concept of the game is with 8, everyone's standing around the table just shouting at each other, because with 8, you're all not going to be able to reach the table at different things. There's going to be all kinds of craziness going on, and you're like, I'll give you 1 pork for 1 beef, and that sounds like a little too chaotic for this particular game. I don't mind the chaos part, but I think a chaos game should be a little simpler. This seems like too much, but some people may like that. For me, the 4-player, 5-player, that works. There's a lot of trading and stuff back and forth. And I found that to be enjoyable. And it's fun to do food. It's fun to make dishes of food. Everyone likes food, so the theme works really well. This is not remember the version you're looking at here, a Kickstarter Deluxe version, so maybe there's cardboard components and stuff in the other one. But this is not a game to be taken too seriously. And it says it takes an hour, and that's correct. And I like that. It's fun. There's a lot of pieces. It has a strong theme to it. Well, mostly. I still don't understand how making 1 dish can make you make 5 bags of garbage. What are you doing? But overall, I found it to be a lot of fun, gives you a lot of options, and most of all, allows you just that fun frenzy trading with other players with a timer, which helps keep it all in check. I'm Tom Vasel. This has been Rival Restaurants. We'll see you next time. Dice Tower Judgment approved.